This past season, the Illinois secondary was filled to the brim with talent, and safety Sidney Brown was a key piece of that unit that is now in this year's draft. How does he hold up in individual evaluation? Find out on this 2-minute drill. Physicality is the name of Brown's game, and it shines throughout his entire skill set. Despite his smaller stature at 5'10", 210 pounds, Brown flies around the field at a high rate and is especially efficient when crashing downhill both downfield and playing up close to the line of scrimmage. With his pursuit skills, he's a very effective blitzer, and he navigates his way through traffic extremely well in order to find and make a play on the football routinely. What makes Brown so impressive is he's fluid enough so that he isn't just some big downhill mover who can crash on the ball, but he can cut back and work laterally at a high rate to where he's dependable to get a hit on the ball carrier even when isolated in space, which makes him extremely reliable as the last line of defense. And that same fluidity then translates over to coverage, where Brown has a knack for finding his way into a catch window and either forcing a turnover or disrupting the throw. Brown has experience splitting the field, manning up in the slot or on tight ends, and even has some single high usage, and he handled it all very well, making him a very promising and versatile piece that defenses should covet for their secondary. For concerns with Brown, the biggest aspect is still his limited frame, as it leads to issues in terms of high pointing or defending away from his frame, and in run defense he gets caught up trying to make sure he doesn't get overpowered by blocks, that he'll go too heavily into them and miss out on making a play on the football as a result. Also in run defense he has a tendency to over pursue on the football, so he needs to clean up his angles in order to be more dependable as a tackler and limit big plays for the offense. For a pro comparison, I think Sidney Brown is very similar to Darian Stewart, who spent most of his career with the Rams and Broncos. Stewart was a similarly framed safety who was very physical working downhill, but also flashed impressive ball skills and open field ability that allowed him to come into the NFL and find time at both safety spots while succeeding in both roles as well. Stewart was an undrafted free agent, so Brown likely won't have to climb his way up the ranks in the same way and may have more instant success, but in terms of peak play, I think there are plenty of overlapping qualities between the two. Overall, I think we see Sidney Brown drafted sometime on day 2, and I think he has the ability to either start or play a major part in the secondary from day 1 and be a long-term positive piece over the course of his career. Illinois had a very talented secondary this past season, and a stud like Sidney Brown was a key part of that. For any NFL team, he should just continue doing more of the same. And that's the 2-minute drill.